Today, Connor and Kiana are back at it with another hunter-gatherer adventure, kicking things off with a girl casually flexing two massive rock lobsters. The duo is cruising down a deserted beach in their pickup truck, towing a sweet little motorboat. Once we hit the spot, my man backs the truck right up to the water to launch this bad boy. The water's a bit shallow, so they both have to bust their humps, pushing the boat out. The truck gets left behind on the sand as they head out for some ocean shenanigans. Connor's super hyped explaining today's mission, hunting fish and bugs in Cape York. Of course, the doggos couldn't miss out on this epic road trip. Plot twist. The boat almost sinks immediately because someone forgot to plug the drain. Classic. It's been a hot minute since Connor hit the water, so things got a little spicy there for a sec. Thank God the water pumped out, the boat leveled up, and we're officially riding the waves. The destination? Some untouched coral reefs hiding under that gorgeous blue water. The drone shots prove this place is basically an underwater baucis of sea life. Soon as they arrive, eagle-eyed Connor already spots dinner swimming around down there. He drops the anchor right away to kick off the great seafood scavenger hunt. Dive gear is on, and our ocean sniper yeets himself into the cool water. Spear gun locked and loaded, he creeps through the dense coral like an underwater ninja. A coral trout quickly finds itself in the assassin's crosshairs. Thwack! The spear goes right through the target, bullseye. Connor happily reels in his first prize of the day and brings it to the surface to brag. Before long, he's back down, poking his head into rocks looking for lobsters. Band reloaded, our hunter is ready for victim number 2. Sure enough, an ornate rock lobster is waving its little antennas out of a crevice. Direct hit, he yanks the poor guy right out of its safe house. Connor pops up and proudly shows off his catch to Kiana, who's waiting on standby. Moving to a new spot, he hugs the bottom so he doesn't spook the fish. This time, a chubby fish bites the dust thanks to his razor-sharp spear. Checking out another hole, Connor spots a giant lobster playing hide-and-seek. He grabs the sucker barehanded and speeds to the surface, completely stoked. Looking at the size of this absolute unit, lunch is going to be a straight-up feast. Seeing all this loot, Kiana gets pumped and dives in to try her luck. She inspects the cracks, but the lobsters in this hood are way too sneaky. Back on the boat, they're mind-blown by how stacked this place is with seafood. Kiana is super bummed, telling the story of how she missed a lobster hiding way too deep. Oh well, the seafood they already have is more than enough for an epic grub fest. Still not satisfied, Connor plunges back down to hit a few more coral heads. He cruises around a huge rock arch that's basically a bustling underwater city. Another tasty-looking target is just casually strolling right in front of him. Pulls the band, takes aim, and boom, another juicy prize in the bag. Popping up, Connor whips out his knife to dispatch it quickly and keep it super fresh. Back down to the white sand, he prowls around for any stray targets. A black spot tuskfish enters the chat, and there's no way it's escaping. Trigger pulled, the spear pins the clueless fish perfectly. Clenching the tuskfish, Connor slowly rises to the surface, soaking in the W. Kiana takes the fish and carefully bleeds it on the boat so the meat stays nice and white. A bit later, Connor waves for his wifey to bring the boat over because he hit the lobster jackpot again. Under a familiar rock, a lobster is waving its antennas, basically taunting our hunter. No gun needed, he just boldly grabs its antennas and yanks it straight out. Breaking the surface, Connor holds up the monster lobster looking like a total boss. He swims up to the boat and happily hands the spiky prize over to Kiana. She's absolutely loving it, holding up the bug while its tail is slapping around. With enough seafood to feed a small army, she fires up the engine to head back to land. The cooler is jam-packed with fish and lobsters. We're in for a crazy feast tonight. The water's a bit murky, but you gotta admit the marine life here is next level. They steer the boat towards shore, drooling over the thought of food because their stomachs are growling. Connor's on the wheel, beelining for the beach, just dying to hear that lobster sizzle. Kiana enjoys the breeze, smiling because they totally crushed today's hunt. From above, this wild beach with its fringing reefs looks straight up gorgeous. In the crystal clear water near the shore, a turtle is just vibing and swimming around. The boat weaves through the shallow rocks into the calm water. Over there, the trusty truck is patiently waiting for them on the sand. Loading a boat onto a trailer at low tide on squishy sand is definitely no joke. Kiana holds the winch cable while Connor fires up the engine to drag the boat up the slope. The truck revs hard, but the tires just spin out and get stuck in the soft sand. Big brain move, he grabs a twig to air down the tires for better traction. Connor carefully airs them down, praying they don't get stranded here all afternoon. Problem solved. Kiana flashes a huge smile once the boat is safely on the trailer. Next up, they drive down the beach to find the perfect camp spot to cook lunch. Just to be safe through the soft spots, Connor tosses some dead branches under the tires. Thanks to his solid off-roading skills, the truck makes it through the sand traps in one piece. Arriving at camp, Kiana climbs on top of the truck canopy, stretching and soaking in the ocean breeze. This quiet sandy spot next to the trees is the ultimate outdoor kitchen for our duo. Cooped up since the crack of dawn, the dogs are practically begging to be let loose. The cage opens and the pack explodes out, zooming around the beach, looking stoked. Meanwhile, Connor lugs the grill over to a little brackish creek to get the party started. He uses a piece of wood to dig a pit in the sand for their DIY campfire stove. The dogs crowd around sniffing, wondering what the heck Dad is digging up now. After flattening the bottom, he carefully places the soot-covered grill over the pit. The grill fits like a glove, making a flawless nature-approved barbecue setup. Connor gathers dry leaves and stuffs in some twigs to spark up the first flames. The fire catches, promising to cure the severe hanger these two divers are feeling right now. He feeds it some thicker fart logs to get a solid blaze going in their sand kitchen. The fire's roaring, and pretty soon they'll have the perfect hot coals for lobster roasting. Connor gets flat on his belly in the sand, blowing on the fire to give it that oxygen boost. While waiting for the coals to get hot, they hit up the cool, shallow creek to chill out. He digs out a misty sand tub and flops down to soak in that sweet, refreshing water. The cool water completely washes away all the grind and sweat from the morning's hunt. The pups see this and dive right in, crashing their dad's little spa session. Looking way too comfy, Kiana wades into, kicking back and splashing around in the midday sun. After their dip, Kiana hops out and playfully dangles 2 fresh lobsters for the camera. With beasts this size, they are totally set for a mind-blowing seafood barbecue. Kiana brings the bugs over to the fire, getting ready to prep some top-tier grub. Back at the creek, Connor uses a knife to dispatch them humanely so the meat doesn't get tough. He takes a sec to scrub the soot off the grill in the ocean before the cooking starts. The squeaky clean grill goes right back over the sandpit, which is now glowing with hot coals. In the shade, their makeshift kitchen is smoking away next to a babbling little creek. Meanwhile, Kiana is busy chopping veggies on a boho rug spread out on the white sand. Lemon, garlic, and fresh green onions are on deck to be the soul of this garlic butter lobster. Throw in a little spicy chili, and this lunch is going to be a flavor explosion from bite one. The couple cracks up as the dogs keep running laps and totally photobombing the shots. The seasonings are prepped and ready to be slathered all over that beautiful, juicy lobster meat. Connor takes his chef's knife and smoothly splits the giant lobsters right down the middle like a pro. The halves pop open to reveal thick, chunky meat that would make anyone's mouth water. Not making his stomach wait any longer, he grabs a half and heads straight for the hot grill. Plops the meat side up on the grill, and that sizzle hits instantly along with a salty ocean smell. He uses his knife to smear fat chunks of golden butter onto the meat as it slowly turns opaque. Next goes a heavy sprinkle of garlic, chili, and scallions, making this lobster look crazy appetizing. Connor proudly explains that grilling it like this lets the garlic butter melt deep into the meat for max flavor. The drone shot shows the creek winding into the ocean, making this campsite look like a literal postcard. Crystal clear water meeting white sand. It's an absolute untouched paradise for these two. While the lobsters are cooking, Connor chills out by taking a stick and playing fetch with the dogs in the creek. The pups are hyped, jumping all over him and making a joyful racket on the quiet beach. Just as the lobster is perfectly cooked, he hustles to tong them onto the cutting board, smoking hot and smelling heavenly. A quick squeeze of fresh lemon, and Connor pinches off a piece for a taste test, nodding at how crazy sweet it is. Kiana immediately starts stuffing that buttery garlic lobster meat into cheese rolls cut into thin slices. She doesn't forget to drizzle on some rich mayo just to take that decadent flavor to the next level. Connor nibbles on a stray piece of lobster and loses his mind over how ridiculously good fresh garlic butter seafood is. 4 massive lobster rolls are officially done, plated up looking fancy on a wooden cutting board. Kiana smiles big at this epic beach spread. It's officially time to chow down. This bomb seafood feast by the campfire perfectly wraps up their awesome dive trip. Kiana quickly squeezes a bit more fresh lemon onto those rich, buttery lobster rolls. Before his wifey can even finish talking, my guy Connor takes a massive bite and just goes to town. He's eating. So hard Kiana has to reach over and squeeze more lemon just to balance the richness. The two of them are just in the zone, destroying these camp-style rolls until there's nothing left. Fully stuffed, hubby turns to his wife and asks for an official rating out of 10. Hearing Kiana give it an 8, he just laughs it off, a little bummed he missed the perfect 10. Wiping his hands, Connor nods and admits next time they gotta drown it in mayo to make it perfect. But hey, making up for the lack of sauce, this super chill beach view is an absolute 10-10. With that, he grabs the camera to get one last shot of the beach before they pack it up. Taking the opportunity, Connor roasts his wife a bit for ever doubting his boat launch plan. Wrapping up an epic dive day, the couple quickly packs their gear and loads up the truck. Connor and Kiana happily wave goodbye to the camera before driving the truck back home.